All right, let's talk about a query language that's completely different. Imagine being able to ask questions about your data, not by writing a bunch of code, but by drawing pictures with your keyboard. Sounds kind of cool, right? Let's get into it. We're so used to thinking about data in these perfectly neat spreadsheets. Everything has its place in a row and a column. But let's be real, the world doesn't work like that. Think about your friends on a social network or how products move through a supply chain. It's all a big, messy, beautiful web of connections. And that's really where we hit a wall. Most of our traditional tools were built for those nice, orderly tables. But a lot of the most interesting data, the stuff with the real insights, is actually a graph, a network of things that are all connected to each other. So, how do you even begin to ask questions about a web like that? How do you find out, say, who your friends' friends are, without getting totally lost and tangled up in really complicated code? This is where a language called Cypher comes in. And honestly, the best way to get it is the whiteboard analogy. When you're trying to explain a connected system to someone, you grab a pen, you draw circles for the things, and you draw arrows between them to show how they're related. Cypher basically lets you do that exact same thing, but with text on your keyboard. Now, the official definition is that Cypher's a declarative query language for graph databases. But forget the jargon for a second. The key phrase here, the one to remember, is ASCII art. It literally uses these simple visual patterns made out of characters to describe the shape of the data you're looking for. It's just so intuitive. So how does this ASCII art actually work? You're gonna love this. It all boils down to just two super simple building blocks: nodes and relationships. That's it. Your circles and your arrows. First up, we have the node. This is just a thing, an entity. On our whiteboard, it's the circle. In Cypher, you just represent it with a pair of parentheses. That's a node. Simple as that. And second, you have the relationship. This is the connector. It's the line, the arrow you draw from one circle to another on the whiteboard. And in Cypher, well, it looks just like a little arrow made out of text. Okay, so let's build one of these patterns right now, step by step. We'll start with the most basic thing possible. Just a circle, an anonymous node represented by these parentheses. Right now, it's just a placeholder. It could be anything. Now, anything isn't super useful, so let's give it some meaning. We'll add a label. Here, we're saying it's a person. So now it's not just a random circle anymore. Our drawing knows it represents a person. We can get even more specific. Let's add a property inside those curly braces. Now it's not just any person, it's a specific person whose name is Anna. See how our drawing is getting more and more detailed? Okay, we've got Anna. Let's draw the start of our arrow. We're showing that a relationship points away from her. She's connected to something, but we haven't quite said what that connection is or who it's to. And here it is. We complete the pattern. We give the relationship a type, in this case, knows. Now look at the whole thing. It just reads like a sentence, doesn't it? A person named Anna knows some other person. That's the magic right there. So here's a quick cheat sheet of what we just covered. The node is the circle. The label and property give it an identity. And the relationship with its type is the arrow that connects it to something else. These are basically the Lego bricks you get to build with. Okay, so we know how to draw these patterns, but how do we actually tell the database to add them? How do we make our little whiteboard sketch a reality in our data? It is incredibly simple. You just use one keyword, create. This command basically tells the database, hey, see this pattern I'm about to draw for you? I want you to make it real. Make it a permanent part of the graph. And check out this full example. This single line of Cypher does everything. It creates a person node for Anna, it creates another person node for Bogdan, and it creates that nodes relationship that connects them. It's all done in one clear visual statement. Now for the really, really cool part. What happens when we want to find data? When we want to start asking questions? Well, it turns out we actually already know how to do it. And this right here shows the pure elegance of Cypher. To find data, you use the match command, but just look at the pattern. It's identical. The exact same visual drawing you use to create the data is the one you use to find it. You just describe the shape, and the database goes out and finds it for you. So let's ask a really simple question. We've got Anna in our database. How do we find out who she knows? We just match the pattern we want. We start with what we know. That's our anchor point, a person named Anna. From there, we just draw the relationship we're interested in, pointing to the unknown person we want to find. The database uses our anchor to go find every single path that fits this exact drawing.
And the real power comes when you start chaining these patterns together. You want to find friends of friends? No problem. You just extend the drawing. Anna knows a friend who in turn knows a friend of a friend. You just keep drawing the path you want to explore.
So the crucial point, the big takeaway, is this. Cypher is declarative. That means you just have to describe what pattern of data you want to find. You don't have to tell the database how to find it, which indexes to use, what join algorithms to run, none of that. You just draw the picture, and the database does all the hard work of matching it for you. This way of thinking, of seeing your data as a web, it just opens up so many new possibilities. So the question I want to leave you with is this. If you could draw any question about your own data, what are the hidden connections and the secret patterns that you would want to explore?